Hello, welcome to the Sunnydale Diaries, a podcast where I, Sean,
And I, Melanie.
watch and discuss every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and how the themes of those episodes intersect with our lives.
Ooh, intersect.
If you are new, welcome. I am a big fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and have watched it numerous times since it originally aired in the late 90s, early 2000s.
And I
Melanie
am
has not.
brand new,
Mhm. Your
culturally
first.
aware of some things.
Mhm.
But yeah,
So
pretty new.
your first time watching this episode, season 5, episode 9.
Listening to fear.
Mhm.
I fear I fear that I did not enjoy this episode as much as I thought I would.
Okay. All right. We'll get into why.
All right.
It definitely has some things that I liked, but yeah, I'm with you overall. This was like not a 5 steak episode for me
Yeah.
either. So, I mean, your prediction was spot on.
I don't even remember what my prediction was. Did I
Well,
say
you
there was a fear monster
well, you
eating the fear?
definitely you saw the monster because it was in the picture I sent you, and you thought it was over Joyce, which it was.
Yep.
So I got that
Right. I got
part
that part
right,
right.
and I know, like, you also said, like, is Buffy gonna listen to her fear or just keep shoving everything down?
All right. I paint with broad strokes
Yep, yep.
with some of these predictions.
I'm interested to see what you make of the next one, but we'll get to that at the end.
Okay.
So, the title of Listening to Fear, now that you've watched the episode, what do you think it was referring to?
What do I think it was referring to? Listening to
Mhm,
fear?
mhm.
I don't know. I have no idea. I know at some point somebody made a reference to listening, and I was like, "Ooh, this is going to be it, where it's all going to fit together," and it didn't. I don't know. What do you think? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know either. That's why I was asking you the question.
You were hoping I was going to help you out.
Yeah, I mean, I do think at one point, like, Buffy had that breakdown while doing the dishes. I mean, I think
Yeah.
she was acknowledging her fear at that point.
I feel like she was just acknowledging, she's having a breakdown because she's just overwhelmed. I didn't really say it was just fear, but I don't know. I guess fear can be looked at in different ways.
Hmm. Has there been a time in your life when fear has been helpful or useful?
I think through my 30s, I always felt like fear. I used to imagine this picture of myself, just a small little Melanie on a stage, and the curtain was kind of coming down on my head, and the curtain was fear, kind of metaphorically. Like I always felt that I just lived in fear of being judged, being failing, that kind of fear, kind of esoteric fear. So probably whenever I'd step out of my comfort zone, like when got my first real job, that was kind of fear based because I was really stepping into something I knew nothing about, and then uprooting my life and moving to Tampa and taking a job. That was kind of scary in a way, not fearful like I was gonna crash my car or something, but you know what I mean? Like, but that, definitely uncomfortable. I don't know,
Mhm.
but so definitely helpful that way. But the fear in a bad way, like limiting myself, not helpful, limiting myself. I try to like, this is such a silly example, but we went to see a play. It was called Once. And part of the play is it's like a bar or like a tavern, Irish tavern or something. And people are invited to go up on the stage before the show starts. And I was like, "Ooh, I really want to do it." But I was like fearful of doing it. I don't know why, irrational, but I made myself do it. That's what I try to do now is like if I'm fearful of something, like, am I going to regret later that I didn't do that?
Mhm.
And try to do it.
Mhm. Meanwhile, when you were here a couple of weeks ago and we were at that dueling piano bar and they started playing the Time Warp from Rocky Horror, you just ran right out
I
there.
jumped right up there.
Or I was like, "No, I'm not doing that." Like, panic.
Yeah, or, like, we went ziplining, and that kind of stuff terrifies me, and I was terrified the entire time, and I'll never do it again, and I didn't like it, but I was proud of myself that I did it. I mean, the first one I did, I was crying when I stopped at the end of it because I was just so terrified, that kind of fear, but sometimes it's good, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
have a little fear and overcome it.
Mhm.
How about you?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a time when it has been useful, and I'm really struggling.
Yeah,
I mean, you know about my imposter syndrome, which I do feel has improved over the last few years,
yeah,
but I would say that is a kind of fear.
yeah.
Like,
Fear of
kinda.
irrational in your case, but fear of being discovered
Mhm.
or found out.
Found out,
Sure,
that's it,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. But in a way, I mean, it does motivate me to get over it, which I think just, made me better at my job. Like, almost like because I had to prove to myself that I could do it, I'm not gonna be found out as a fraud.
yeah.
So, I guess fear is a motivator. I don't know if that's necessarily a healthy thing, but
Yeah, I don't know. So is that fear being helpful? I don't know. That's a great question. That's a really good question. I'm gonna keep thinking about it.
maybe we'll put it out to our listeners on social media.
Yeah.
Look at us having these deep conversations.
I know. And do you like cheese?
But, I mean, like you, when I was younger, I did let fear hold me back
Yeah.
from things.
Yeah. It's such an interesting thing, like, I suppose years of therapy would help me get to the bottom of it, where that came from, and, I'm sure I'm not alone in that kind of stuff.
Oh, no. Yeah, like, I used to have a fear of public speaking, like, big
Oh.
time, and then when I was an orientation leader at college, like, it was small groups of students, so that was fine, but then there was also a parents program going on at the same time, and if you were picked for the parents program, you had to go on stage in front of, like, 1,000 parents and
Mhm.
answer their questions about what life was like at
Yeah.
Stony Brook, and the first time I remember being up there and, like, mentally, oh my god, but and this happens with me a lot with something I'm scared of. Once I start doing it, I'm perfectly fine. Like when we were zip lining, my heart was pounding. I'm gonna die. The minute we took off, I loved it. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as I started talking, fine, not a
You're
problem.
fine.
Yeah.
That is not, like, the number 1 fear that most people have, public speaking, or it's up there in the top 3.
Yeah.
I can remember when I was in grad school, we had to do lots of presentations in college and grad school for our thesis we had to present, and I just remember doing it and, like this
Oh yeah.
the whole
Oh yeah.
time.
Yep. So I mean, now public speaking is nothing, but back then it was definitely a big one for me.
I think I would still have a problem.
I mean, you would never know. You hide it well,
Yeah,
very well.
inside, dying.
Like, when we were at that convention with a lot of the Buffy cast there, you went right up there and asked a question.
I know. I'm sure I was shaking. I'm sure I was shaking.
Alright, you ready to get into this interesting episode?
I am ready.
Alright. Start off with the previously on, we get Riley and Sandy, I think was her
I
name,
think
the
that was
vamp
her name. I just called her Vamp Chick. I can't remember her name.
that bit him and then he staked her.
Mhm.
Glory and Dreg.
Yes.
Tara mentioning that Glory, as we know her name now,
Mhm.
could be so old she predates the written word.
Mhm. Mhm.
Boy, this is not a good note. Glory eating repairman's head. I mean, I know exactly what it's referring to, but I
And
could have
she
worded that
she
better.
stuck her hands in and
Yep.
was feeding off of his energy.
Yeah. And Dawn is the key.
Don's the key,
Mhm.
and Joyce is sick.
Yes. We open up to some hospital food that looks horrible. It looked so bad.
We paused it, and Drew was out there, and I was like, "Alright, what do you think that is?" I said, "A breaded meat puck."
Ugh, that does not sound appetizing.
Breaded meat puck, opening 4,
That's going on
spinal
the band name
retribution.
list. I mean, there was, like, some, like, pea and I think it was peas and carrots that just looked very dried out. There was
Oh,
some
I thought it was lima beans, but yes, it did not look good. It did not look very
yeah,
good.
cream spinach looked horrible.
Oh. And I think Tang.
Wow, dang. I haven't thought about that.
And then I put a note, "Scooby snack?"
Tang?
I don't know, Tang, Jello.
I could go for that. I like
Yeah,
all those things.
okay.
Uh, Dawn is in bed with Joyce,
Mhm,
snuggling up.
mhm,
They're talking about Jello and how Dawn likes it because it's wiggly.
mhm.
And she goes on a little thing about I like when she does that. She just goes off on some random tangent, kinda
Yeah,
like we do.
yeah. But it's always, like, something really
Ridiculous.
ridiculous, and she doesn't realize it, and the people around her are being affected by it. And she's just like, "La, la, la." And I remember when I was vegetarian for a little while, finding out about that the gelatin is not vegetarian. It's a bummer.
Yeah, I had gone to a party at somebody's house that we used to work with, and I had made Jello shots, and, I mean,
Oh,
she was appreciative I made something, but this person was vegan, so she did not partake.
okay, good.
The rest of us did, but
Okay. The doctor comes in,
Dr. Kriegel.
and he's got good news. Everything seems fine.
Yep,
And
blood
I
work
said,
is
"Except for
normal.
that friggin' brain tumor. Everything's great. Looks great except for that brain tumor." They're gonna have surgery the day after tomorrow.
Mhm. 'Cause that's what they do, after you get out of your biopsy, you're gonna have surgery in a few days, they just let you occupy a bed,
Well,
just chill
there's
out.
only one surgical suite, so there's just one table, so she's gotta wait. She's gotta wait in line.
Yep, yep. She woke up exhausted,
Yeah,
and she was just sitting there in a bed. Not
yeah,
happy, Joyce.
just
Can't
waiting.
blame her.
Yeah.
It's like
Um,
the
and then
few
Buffy's not gonna patrol because she's
mm-mm,
now taking care of Joyce and Dawn. So Riley and the gang are gonna take care of it.
mhm.
She says they've got it under control.
They don't have it under
Cut to
control.
them not having it under control
Yep.
with these 2
Giles
very obvious stunt people, Amazonian women stunt people, vampires.
yes.
And again, I go back to so the outfits they were wearing were like day-to-day streetwear.
Mhm,
So not what they would have been buried in had they been buried in that cemetery.
right.
So that's probably what they were wearing when some vampire turned them or yeah, turned them,
Mhm.
right?
I could
But
go for
these
that.
vampires really seem to only be at the cemetery.
Yeah,
Like we're only
right.
ever patrolling and fighting at the cemetery.
Yeah,
Even
you're
if
right,
these
I'm sure they're
vampires
elsewhere. I'm sure they're elsewhere. You're right.
yeah.
They're hanging out at the espresso pump.
Right. There's so many good places to there's a whole underground tunnel system
Mhm,
that
mhm.
probably have entrances to all the buildings in Sunnydale,
Yep, yep.
right? Like
They
secret
should
elevators and there's all sorts of stuff going on,
yeah,
but they
they
really
should
love that cemetery.
they should go to the Sun Cinema, it's dark. "Oop, somebody bit me," and then they're gone. Like, come
Right?
on, vampires, try a little.
If you and I were vampires, we would organize way better than Harmony. We'd get
Oh,
a
yes.
gang.
We would have minions like that.
Mhm. Agree.
So Riley is not with them, it's just Giles, Willow, and Xander.
Mhm.
Willow does take out 2 of them. I
She
loved
does.
her little sneaking motion from behind. I
Yeah.
feel like Buffy's is more like, "Urgh," and
Yeah.
hers is like,
Yeah. I know.
"Pachoo,"
She got
like a
him.
mosquito.
Yep.
They're complaining about Riley not being there. Willow says, "Oh, Piffle," which I saw was your name.
Mhm.
I wrote it down, like, we're gonna talk about Piffle.
Oh, piffle. Who needs them? So Riley is in this abandoned building, just letting some vampires suck the blood out of his arm.
Yeah,
And he does not look good. He looks so bummed and
yeah.
defeated and just like,
Disconnected.
yes.
Yeah. Not good.
No.
Then we get credits.
Yes.
And I noticed we have 2 sound effects. We have two different whooshes. We had a whoosh in season 3, not
Yes.
4, but
Yeah.
now season 5 has 2 whooshes.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
notice. I'll have to go back and rewatch.
Alright.
So perceptive.
Well, I was like, "I really haven't looked at the credits in a while. Let me pay attention."
Let's just check in.
Yes.
Okay, so we're back to the hospital.
Mhm.
Willow comes in. She's got presents for everybody.
Which is sweet
Yes, including a beer hat for Joyce.
because what better for the person who had brain surgery than a hard plastic hat that you weigh
Oh.
down
Oh,
with.
I was thinking, so she can't run into anything with her head and damage her sensitive lobe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Either
Alright.
way,
It's still not good.
it's still not good. And as she's handing out the presents, Joyce is doing this with her head. She's got a
Mhm.
headache.
Yeah.
Oh, Joyce, a biggish little headache.
Mhm.
I feel bad
Dawn
for her.
gets Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. Dawn gets a book of spell history and, just general trivia.
The book is called Spells
Buffy gets a history book
and a yo-yo.
and a yo-yo, yeah. She missed a test. I kinda forgot, like, "Oh, yeah, she's taking classes still."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she hasn't dropped out yet.
And she's talking, "Maybe I won't even make up the test," and then Joyce has a
Joyce has an
moment.
outburst.
"I'd rip it in half and stick it in bed with me."
Yep.
And everyone's a little shocked.
Yeah. Joycey needs a nap.
Yes.
Joycey needs a nap. So then they're out in the hallway and they're talking about how the tumor is pressing on her brain and causing these little outbursts. And she'll be fine after the operation.
Mhm.
That's what I was like, I don't think she's gonna be fine. I'm gonna call it right now. I don't think Joyce is gonna be fine. I'm worried.
Okay.
And so then this guy is in the hallway. It's the guy that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he is having some kind of mental health issue right now. And he's like just kind of mumbling down the hallway, but then he's like pointing at Dawn and saying, "You're not real," or "There's no
There's no one
data
in
in
there.
there." And she's freaked out, of course.
Mhm.
And then so they start taking him away, his family, I guess. And then, of course, who's there?
Good old
Coincidentally,
Doctor Ben.
intern Ben.
Yep.
Guess I missed that. And then he says, "The mental ward, the mental ward
I know. I
is
know.
booked beyond capacity. The mental ward." This episode, there's a couple things I wrote in all caps from this episode. There were some
Oh,
crazy things said. That was the
yes, there
first
were.
one.
Mhm.
The mental ward. And then he overshares information about that patient and violates some HIPAA laws.
We haven't had a good HIPAA violation in
Well, there you
I would
go.
say a couple of seasons probably,
There
but
you
we have
go.
had them.
Man.
Cut to Willow and Tara have a little sweet moment looking at the
Oh,
stars.
it looks so nice.
Yeah.
They had such a comfy little spot on the roof. Yeah, looking at the
Mm.
stars. And a little funny moment where Willow's like, "You know what's weird?" And Tara goes, "Japanese commercials are weird." Well, yes.
Not where I was going.
And also, obviously affected by Joyce being sick. And then
They
they kind of talk about the constellations and
Yeah. Tara has her own names, which I thought was very cute.
yes. Oh, that should have been my name, the Big Pineapple. Or Moose getting sponge bath.
Pile O crackers.
Little pile of crackers.
I love that the subtitles actually had, like, the O apostrophe.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's a huge meteor that crashes into Sunnydale. Of course,
Mhm.
it's Saturday night. What? Of course.
What else is new? Gotta be Tuesday. There's a fisheye lens view of something
Yeah, point of
crawling
view
out of
shot.
the crash site.
Yep. And then we see the crazy guy from the hospital wandering around the woods
Yeah.
by himself. No, that's not a silver alert. What alert is that? A purple alert?
I don't know if there's a specific
I
color
think that's a
for.
purple alert.
Okay.
So this thing, whatever it is, from the meteor crash site, climbs the tree above the guy, and then drops down behind him and attacks him.
Yeah. Why don't you describe that thing to us, Melanie?
That thing, it was kind of like a combination, like, it had a face,
Mhm.
like a person, but the mouth was weird, like a lot of teeth, fangy teeth.
Yeah, and like round. Well, I guess our
Yeah,
mouths are
like,
round too,
"Oh,"
but
like that.
yeah,
"Oh," like a
that's the
worm
cover.
mouth, like
That's
from Dune, the worm mouth. But then it
yes.
had, like, a very pronounced forehead mask prosthesis,
Mhm.
right, going around
Mhm.
its head, and then the body was like a cross between a worm and a cockroach.
Yeah, because it had like that hard shell.
Yeah, it had, like, that hard shell, but it kind of moved on the ground like a worm,
Yes.
kind of like half crawling, half slithering.
Mhm.
Which was more noticeable when later on in the episode, you get a
Mhm.
good shot of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll call it crithering.
okay.
Crawling and slithering. It's
Sure,
crithering.
crithering, I love it, okay. Back at the hospital, the thing is crawling along on the ceiling of the hospital.
That no one sees.
Right, nobody sees it, of course not. I think people in Sunnydale have kind of conditioned themselves to be like, "Nothing there, don't see that."
No, no,
Not going to
that's fair.
acknowledge that, I'm just here to get my mammogram.
Tunnel vision, straight
Yeah.
ahead. No left,
Don't
no right, no up,
don't
no
have
down.
time for extraterrestrial slime demons today.
That might be the episode title. And
Joyce
Joyce
is
is
still agitated, and she
yeah.
wants to go home. I don't blame her,
No, I'm with her on that.
right? Like, 1, he told her to get some rest. She's gonna get better rest at home,
Mhm. You don't sleep in
right?
a hospital. Mm-mm.
And 2, you don't wanna be in a hospital when you're sick,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
3, who wants to pay 2 days of bed fees for just sitting there?
Melanie, you know Joyce was not paying that bill.
You think she's just gonna skip out on her hospital bill?
Absolutely.
They'd go after Buffy for sure. Just be calling Buffy. But really, that's probably gonna be like $5,000 of fees for that Jello meal. More?
Oh,
$10,000.
oh, just for the Jello meal, yeah, I thought you were gonna
Yeah.
say, like, per day.
Oh,
Like,
no. That's gonna be
no.
thousands of dollars. She can go home and save herself some money that she doesn't have to sell, 3 pieces art pieces she can keep,
Right.
right?
The doctor does not love the idea, but they wear him down.
And then he's like, "Okay, but, it's gonna be really tough, You're gonna have to there's 3 medications she's gonna have to take, and you're gonna have to check her vitals.
Mhm.
I
I
don't
mean,
know. I don't know if you're gonna be able to handle it."
I
And
don't
then she's
wanna
like, "But you're not gonna get much sleep." I'm like, you told Joyce to get good solid rest.
Mhm.
Buffy's gonna have plenty of sleep. She's gonna have to, like, go in and see Joyce every 4 hours. I think it'll be okay.
You
Give her
know,
the meds. Give her the meds and take her vitals. You're not gonna get any sleep.
Dawn goes out to the vending machine area, sitting in the hallway, and the monster's up on the ceiling again,
Mhm, mhm,
just
mhm,
chilling.
mhm,
The Scoobies are examining the meteor with Riley.
mhm,
They realize something crawled out of there.
mhm.
They find that guy that the thing fell on, dropped on, and I don't know, puked on him. There was a lot of mucus.
Yeah, I don't know if they know that yet. They just know there was something in the guy's mouth.
Mhm. And it's very stinky, apparently.
Yes. Willow does recognize him from the hospital,
Mhm.
and then we know we can't call Buffy because she's helping Joyce. We're gonna have to
Mhm.
figure it out for ourselves. Let's go do the research. And then Riley is like, "I'm gonna stay here. I'm better with crime scenes, and I'm gonna examine this body some more." I don't know
Yeah.
what he thinks he's gonna do. But as soon as they leave, Riley gets on the phone. I would talk to the man at the desk
Mhm.
because he's using his
Looking
connections.
looking for Graham.
Right.
That we're in, I guess, the mental ward at this point now.
The
An open
mental
room
ward.
full of beds.
We're in the nut house right now. We're in the cracker box. The
Another.
RN, obviously, they've got some really lax and easy restraint policies at this hospital because everybody's tied down to their beds. She's just
Were they
tucking
tied
everybody
down?
in.
I didn't notice. Oh man, they were tied down. Oh,
Yeah. And I was making this, I had issues with this psych ward. There's no way they would have corded lamps next to the beds, that
yeah,
metal chair, just a vending machine.
yeah. So one of the patients is talking
Yeah.
to no one. You know, don't you be that kind of barn owl.
Yeah. Well, he was saying that to the
Um,
nurse.
mhm.
Don't leave me alone. Don't be that kind of barn owl," which is a weird thing to say, but yeah, mhm. She doesn't pay any attention. She's out.
Nope. Yeah.
She's like, "I'm on the night shift. They're not paying me enough."
So then the monster, demon, whatever, is crawling around. It's like that scary movie. Oh, it's there. No, it's not. Oh, it's
Yeah.
there. No, it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
It gets on top of him and
Yep.
again vomits mucus excretion.
Yep.
The patient screaming. The nurse is at the desk chomping on peanut butter cups.
Sure.
Yeah. And then out in the hospital hallway while Joyce is getting discharged, the monster is like on the ceiling, is like playing peekaboo. He's like, "Ooh, I see you. Nope, I'm gone. Ooh, I see you. Nope, I'm gone." The doctor is reviewing the sedative and painkillers that Buffy has to give.
The 3 bottles, the sedative and so forth, and then he says, "And the painkillers." I wonder, what's the so
Go
forth?
for it. I couldn't even like venture to guess.
And then he's like, "Is this too much for you?" It's like, no,
I still
okay.
don't know that I would trust Buffy with vitals. Like she can
Oh,
do temperature and pulse, but blood pressure. So
funny.
the Summers women get home.
Mhm.
Joyce is very sensitive to the light. All the lights are out.
Yeah, yeah, she's like, "Okay, turn the lights out, and then we'll take you upstairs and we'll turn those lights out too." Okay, well, once she's upstairs, you can turn those lights on downstairs. She's not gonna be affected by those.
That is a valid point.
Thank you.
Out in the woods, Riley is still out there. There's a helicopter landing and a bunch of agents
I
come
wrote,
swarming.
"Okay, now we're on the obvious set soundstage, and there's a miniature helicopter flying across the screen, and then some spotlights on Riley, and then some stock footage of a helicopter coming down." I'm not yeah, and then okay, and then the military guys come out of the helicopter, and they're looking at the goop. He choked on the goop,
Mhm.
and then Riley says, this is another one I wrote in all caps, "Near as I can tell, it's some kind of protein alkaloid."
Yep.
How the hell can he tell that?
You didn't see his chemistry kit that he picked up from
Right,
Walmart?
he didn't have anything with him to test that goop.
Yeah.
A
And
protein
alkaloid.
alkaloid, and then later on, it's like, "And it's breaking down too quickly, you won't be able to use it." He doesn't know that.
And alkaloids are not proteins.
Right? Duh, Riley.
I did have to Google
Gosh.
that because sometimes they get it right. So I Googled, I'm like, are alkaloids proteins? And then Google came back with a no, here are the many reasons why they are not.
Are alkaloids proteins? No. Are proteins alkaloids?
No.
Okay. Wrong. You guys got it wrong, and we're calling you out on it. So they're gonna say, okay, so since it was a comet, there's got to be some trace radiation, and you can track it that way. Oh,
Mhm.
okay, we got a Geiger counter right over here. Awesome. Back at home, Buffy and Dawn are watching TV while Joyce is upstairs resting,
Mhm.
supposedly, and then we see the space thing is in the house,
Yeah.
and then we see Joyce walking downstairs by herself, and you're like, "Oh, that's not good."
Yeah.
Kinda Buffy didn't give her the sedative or the so forth.
Well, it's been an
Yeah, she
hour.
right? They've been home 3 hours. And then, there's clattering in the kitchen, and they kinda make you feel like, "Oh, maybe something, she's being attacked or something." No, she's just in the refrigerator, and she's trying to cook something, and she set fire to something on the stove,
Mhm.
and, then she says something really off the wall to Buffy.
Yeah. I wrote it down. You shouldn't eat more. You're disgustingly fat.
Right.
But you her I got to say, when I'm not going to say if because we're going to meet her. When we meet Christine Sutherland, I have to say, like, she did this very well. Not just this line, but all of her outburst lines. I feel she
I think you
delivered
should say
them.
it just like that. Christine, you really did it. In listening to Fear, you really did it.
But I
You
do
did a
think she
lot
did.
of other things that we didn't like so much, but you did this and we liked it.
I mean, we have to tell her about our ongoing embezzling joke. We have to tell her about it. I think she'd get a kick out.
So they take Joyce back to bed, and the thing is still there.
Still in the house.
We give Joyce the sedative, and she flinches. Dawn tries to like comfort her, and she
Mhm.
flinches at Dawn. And she's like, "Get away from me, you thing. What are you? You're
You're not
nothing.
real.
You're not
Yeah.
real." And of course, Dawn runs out. I feel like all the bedrooms in this house are connected. Like
I
Dawn
think
runs out the door directly into her room next to Joyce's room.
I thought it was like across a little hall.
No,
Like, I
there was
mean,
no hall. It's like they were like connecting,
oh, okay.
which is very strange.
Yeah, I give you that.
Buffy is comforting Dawn, and she says, people keep saying this stuff to me. The mom just said it, that guy at the hospital, that other guy
In the
outside
magic
of
box.
the magic box.
I
And what
think
is going on? Okay, so then Buffy says, "You're it's not you. Don't listen." Oh, this is when I said, "Oh, is this listening to fear?" Because she just kept saying to Dawn, "Don't listen." I was
mm,
like, "Ooh, this is where we're gonna find out what listening to fear is about," but then we didn't. At
um,
at the university library, they're researching what they call the killer snot monster from outer
from outer
space.
space. Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
And then after he said the child, I was like, I did not just say that.
Yeah. Xander is looking at a book called Meteors and You. They went all out with the books this episode.
Oh yeah. And then
Um,
Anya and Tara come back from scouting international periodicals. Meteor landings.
yeah.
Shows you how much time has changed.
There's no news or records of meteors falling in Sunnydale. Willow finds something about the Queller impact in the 12th century. And then Xander is like, "Oh, I just saw something in my Meteors and You book about quelling." And it was about calling upon meteors to quell the madness of the
Mhm,
moon,
mhm.
right? And then Willow says, again, this is an all caps Melanie note, "I'm looking in history right now. I'm looking in history right now." Sean, what does that mean?
I don't have a good answer.
I'm
I do
looking
not.
in history right now. There were plagues of madness. Then they suddenly subside. So now they're figuring out, oh, this demon maybe was summoned somehow
Mhm.
and it's preying on
Mentally
mental
unwell.
health patients.
Yeah.
And then they're like, let's call Riley.
And then Riley's at the hospital. There
Riley
are
just happens to be at the hospital.
5 patients dead
They're all
in
dead.
the mental ward.
Yep. And they're worried, right? He's worried about Joyce because, oh, they're worried about Joyce. And he says, okay, Joyce was discharged home. Intern Ben told me. Intern Ben man, he is just on. He knows
He
everything that's going on. He's
Mhm.
ready to
Eyes and
spill.
ears of Sunnydale
He really
Memorial.
is. He really is. Riley thinks the queller is in the air ducts of the hospital. We've got him cornered. He's in the air ducts. Back to Joyce's. She's in bed and she is acting cuckoo.
Mhm.
She is just talking to something or someone in her room. Obviously, that sedative is not strong enough. She needs a double dose or something.
Mhm.
Or maybe Buffy accidentally gave her the so forth and not the suit sedative.
That's true.
Maybe. Dawn is in her room next to Joyce's room, and she's trying to rest, I guess. She's all her lights are on, so I don't think she's trying to sleep, but she's hearing all this and it's freaking her out.
Mhm.
Buffy is in the kitchen, which is still dark, by the way. The lights are
Yep,
still off in the kitchen.
yep. On the first floor, away
Yeah, on
from
the first
Joyce.
floor, right. She's doing dishes in the dark and listening to loud Spanish music,
Yeah,
which
the most upbeat music ever.
so I looked up this song. It's called Tahitian Swing by a band called New Age World, which is a some kind of Latin band. and I found the song and I was listening to it and what they're playing because I was like, "What is this song? It's like the same 8 bars looped over and
Mhm.
over again. It's like the worst song ever." Oh, it's the last 10 seconds of the song
Uh,
that they just looped over and over again,
oops. Okay.
which is strange. But she has a little breakdown at the sink,
Yeah.
which I assumed was just because she was overwhelmed
Mhm.
with everything going on with Joyce and with her sister, non-sister. Back to Joyce, who's saying, "Now stop staring at me, I don't like it." And then the screen grab you sent me of the demon thing on the ceiling above her.
Yeah. She's having a full-blown conversation.
She really is. She really
Mhm.
is. The military guys are still at the hospital trying to track the demon, but they lose the track at in the parking lot.
Mhm.
And then Riley's like, "Must have caught a ride on a car."
Just hanging on to the
Right? It's like on a
like in the
skateboard
sports car,
behind
just
somebody's Honda.
grabbing the spoiler. Or
Yeah, 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 yeah.
maybe he got a skateboard like Marty McFly in Back to the Future.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, he was, like, on his tummy on the skateboard, holding on.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Then Riley realized, "Oh, no, Joyce
Yeah,
drove home or
right.
went home." Yep.
Yes. The demon jumps from the ceiling onto Joyce and gives her the drooly goop onto her face.
Mhm.
Dawn comes in, thankfully,
Mhm.
and hits it with a coat rack.
Yeah, go Dawn.
Saves Joyce. Then Dawn runs out of the room again, and the demon is following her, and this is where you get a
Mhm.
really good shot of that what do we call it? The slithering, crawling?
Oh,
Crithering?
Crithering, yes.
Crithering. And then
We
I
gotta
was
do that
like,
again.
"Let's talk about the practical effects of this demon." That's like a little person in that costume. It's gotta be.
Yeah, you're probably
I
right.
think so.
Yeah,
Um,
because it wasn't that big of a costume.
right, it wasn't a full person-sized costume, it was like a very short person costume.
Yeah,
And
it,
that person had to, like, pull themselves along on the ground with just their arms. That was tough.
yeah,
That's tough.
it was not as good as the snake from last week or last episode.
By good, do you mean terrible? Do you mean cringeworthy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It wasn't as cringeworthy as the snake for sure. So Dawn is calling for Buffy, but Buffy doesn't hear her
No, she's
because
too busy
her
dancing
music
to
is
the
so
music.
loud.
Yep.
And then Dawn's running through all of the rooms, which I'm like, are all the rooms up there connected? I don't know. She just seems to be running in a circle around the second story of the house.
Yeah, so there's definitely some connected things because
Yeah.
like, she was closing and opening a lot of doors, but going in a
Yeah.
circle, like you
Yeah. Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
When Buffy was crying and the music playing, it reminded me of something, and I couldn't make the connection. I just did. Remember in The Incredible Shrinking Woman when Lily Tomlin falls in the garbage disposal, and the cleaning lady is
Concepcion.
like, "That's it. That's what it was. That's what it
Deep
reminded me
Cuts by Mel and Sean.
of."
Yes, that's right. Yes. You guys, if you haven't watched The Incredible Shrinking Woman with Lily Tomlin, you got to go check it out.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
That's early 80s right there.
Oh, yeah.
So Buffy finally hears her and she goes upstairs and the demon jumps on her. Her stunt double tumbles down the stairs and the space thing crawls away. Joyce and Dawn are in Joyce's room and Buffy is kind of looking around the house to see where it went.
Mhm.
She gets a knife. Smart.
Good.
The basement door bursts open and it's Spike.
Yep.
Spike's contractually obligated appearance in the episode.
Yep.
Then they have a funny little exchange about what are you doing down there? And he's like, "Well, you have a lot of junk. I need some junk." And she's like, "Is that a picture of me?"
You know what it reminded me of? That one episode of Friends where Joey keeps getting blamed because Chandler and Monica are, like, doing stuff, but and they keep kinda getting caught, but then they blame it on
Yes.
Joey. It's like, "I'm Joey. I'm disgusting. I eat fried chicken." I'm like, "I'm Spike. I'm disgusting. I eat fried chicken and look at pictures of Buffy."
Yes. That's exactly right. And then they get interrupted because the Queller attacks Spike and Buffy. And
Mhm.
Buffy finally gets it with the knife a few times and kills it.
Yep. And then,
And
right
then
after it's dead,
right on time, Riley and the military professionals come in.
and man, Buffy looked pissed.
Yeah, yeah. Buffy runs upstairs to Joyce and Dawn, and they're okay. Everybody's okay. Back at the
And they go back to the
hospital,
hospital.
intern Ben
And turn man walking out to his car.
walking to his car, gets into the car.
Hmm.
Dreg is in the back seat,
Hmm.
gives Ben a little lecture about what are you doing? Why did you summon the Queller?
Ben responds to clean up Glory's mess like he's always done his whole life.
I knew it. I
Mm,
knew there was more going on with this guy.
mm. So
But what is it?
are you saying there's some kind of connection
I'm saying
with
there's a
Ben and
connection.
Glory?
I'm
All
saying there's
right.
a connection.
Okay.
And he drives away.
Hmm.
Joyce, then we fast forward a little bit. Joyce is back at the hospital getting her IV in her hand. So they mustn't have been able to find a good vein here. They had to go to the hand.
Hmm. Just move on. Just move on.
Okay. All right. And then she's sitting with Buffy and she says, somehow I know that Dawn isn't mine. And Buffy says, right.
Mhm.
Yes. But I feel like she belongs to us and she's important to the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Precious.
Precious. Yes. And then poor Buffy, Joyce heaps more responsibility on her and says, if something happens to me, you've got to take care of her. It's like, oh my God, just, add more onto my
Right.
shoulders.
Right.
Right? And Buffy is like, you could see the tears in her eyes. I mean, what's she gonna say? She's like, "Yeah, okay." Ugh.
And this is just another scene, like watching it again now at 47 compared to watching it at 23, where
Mhm.
like I don't think all of that really got through to me. And now I'm watching it like, oh
The
man,
the
like
pressure she's putting on Buffy.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it ends with her getting wheeled out to surgery.
A shot of her getting wheeled into surgery. Yep. The end.
And
How many stakes do you give this one?
3.25.
Ooh, wow. Okay. I'm giving it 2.25.
Oh, wow.
It was not my favorite.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I still don't understand. You guys could tell us what you think. Listening to Fear. I don't know. Did Buffy listen to her fear? What is her fear? Who was it Joyce supposed to be listening to her fear? Was it a blanket we should all listen to our fear? Who is it? What is the fear? Who's listening to it? Let me know.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Favorite line?
I think my favorite line was Anya when they're looking around the site, the meteor site, and they're talking about whatever it was, and she said, "I'm sure it frisked about like a fluffy lamb." That's not your favorite line, too,
I
is
thought
it?
we were going to be twinsies. Mine is the space lamb got him. The space lamb. I love it. We were so close.
Yeah, we were both mutton adjacent.
I love it. Mutton adjacent. I think that might be our episode title.
Okay, you ready for the next episode?
Yeah.
Season 5, episode 10, Into the Woods.
Into the Woods. Well, isn't there a play called Into the Woods, a musical?
There was. They were playing it at the park down in St. Petersburg this week.
Was that play out at this time?
I think Into the Woods came out even before that, yeah.
Okay, so it can't be like a musical-ish, like a fairy tale thing.
With with singing Queller demons.
Yeah. Into the Woods. Okay, well, she killed the Queller demon, so it's not going to be any more Queller demon. Into the Woods. Into the Woods. I have no idea. You gonna send me a screen print?
Yeah, but you gotta give me something before you
All
open the
right, Into
screen
the
for it.
Woods. There's gonna be some kind of yeah. I'm gonna go into the fairy tale stuff. There's gonna be some kind of like a something in the woods that's attacking people, and they have to go into the woods to find it. and kill it.
Okay. All right. You have a screenshot.
All right, I'm gonna go. Let's see. Prediction. Oh, into the woods. Hang on, I guess. Does that say Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Christmas something are coming. I can't see what that says. They're at the magic box. They are packaging things up. Giles is supervising. Christmas something are coming.
I think it was referencing other holidays. Like I think one said Hanukkah, and I couldn't make out the first one.
Oh, okay. All right. This doesn't help me. Sean, this doesn't help me at all. They're packing up camping gear. Maybe they're going to go camping in the woods, and something supernatural is going to happen in the woods. They're going into the woods camping. And right here in this screen print, they are packing stuff up, supplies for camping. That looks like some kind of a glass something that Willow's packing up. It could be a coffee pot. Sure. That's what we're going with, Sean. Camping
Right.
adventures.
I like your energy.
Thanks.
So I'm going to do something a little different here, and I don't know if this is going to stick, but
Okay.
I am going to predict what I think you will rate this episode.
Ooh, okay.
But I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to impact
Oh,
you.
okay. All right.
So it will be displayed right here,
Oh,
and we shall see.
okay. All right.
See
Ooh,
how close I am.
okay. I love it. Sean,
Yes.
we should talk about the socials.
We are everywhere that matters at the Sunnydale Diaries. So leave us a comment, say hi. We also have a website, thesunnydalediaries.com. On that website, you can get links to our Discord server. You get an invite there. You can go to our merch store if you would like some Sunnydale Diaries merchandise. Both the shirt that I have on and the one that Melanie has are available there, as well as some other stuff, water bottles, notebooks, things like that. You can get a link to Melanie's Fuse Glass Etsy store
Ooh,
to be having some Buffy related items.
something in the kiln right now.
Nice. There is a link there for the change.org petition to bring New Sunnydale back to Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it for the website. We also have an email address, the
We do.
Sunnydale Diaries at gmail.com. If you want to send us your thoughts, if you knew what listening to Fear meant and it just completely went over our heads, let us know.
Please, somebody. Please do.
Yeah.
Also, we should talk about the fact that we have an event coming up this summer that we are going to be attending.
Yes. June 12th through the 14th, we will be at Hellmouth Con in Torrance, California. Takes place at the school where seasons 1 through 3 of Buffy were filmed.
Mm-hmm.
And there are going to be Buffy actors, Angel actors there, panels, the Sunnydale Mall, little shopping area, and us. We're going to be there.
We did put in a request to interview any of the Buffy cast members that they could get us an interview with. And we'll see how that turns out. If you guys have any questions you would like for us to ask any cast members that are going to be there, I think we talked about it before, but Amber Benson, Charisma Carpenter, Doug Jones, Emma Caulfield,
Larry Bagby.
Larry Bagby. So if you have any questions for any of those people, there's also some Angel people, but since that's not our bag, we probably won't talk to them too much.
Yeah.
If you are going, let us know. Maybe we can all get together and do something fun and talk Buffy stuff. If you are not going, why not?
You can go to fandomcharities.org to buy tickets.
There you go. And we're also going to tour around a little bit in a rental car and look at some other Buffy sites. So if there is a specific Buffy locale you'd like us to check out, please let us know. And yeah, we're very excited. I'm very excited.
I am too. It's just like weeks at this point.
I know, it's soon.
And so our next episode for Into the Woods will be out the week of May 11th.
Wow, May
Can you believe
11th.
that?
Wow.
May.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see you next time.